ArcheAge is finally ready for closed beta, and guess what? We've got keys. Firefall is planning to launch this month with tons of new content, and it looks like Hi-Rez finally decided to put me in Smite. What's happening, guys? This is James Blonde with MMOHuts.com with a quick weekly recap for MMO news and announcements for the week ending July 14th, 2014. And we've got some crazy and exciting news this week, and I'll start it all off with the official launch announcement for Firefall. So after years of forever beta and repeated event teasers, seeing the rise and fall of PvP and esports, Firefall is ready to launch on July 29th, 2018. No, seriously, July 29th this month, this year. Plus, the game is actually going to launch on Steam, and according to DizzyPW in his interview with the Red 5 Studios CEO, there is now 4 times the world map and 15 times more content than we've seen in the past, setting there ready for launch. With the latest build, they've introduced more of a storyline with a mission system and Ares jobs. Plus, they're also bringing back PvP, and not on a small scale. They're making it massive, more like PlanetSide 2. Not to mention PvPvE. You probably weren't expecting to have to fight other players while trying to avoid a melding tornado. So lots has changed in the prep for launch, and we've got a lot of exclusive details showing up at MMOHuts.com, so keep an eye out for all the updates, all the way up to the official launch on July 29th. Next up, Infernum released a really cool gameplay music video for Hazard Ops from, well, Hazard, just in time to celebrate the game going into open beta. The open beta will start off with a new battlefield and new game mode, King of the Hill. In transition over to open beta, the database will reset in order to launch new servers, but once the servers are open again, players will find their account credited with all the currency they would have used to purchase in-game items. That's kind of nice. The closed beta ended on July 8th, but the open beta will be live on July 16th. And speaking of open beta, Archlord 2 started its open beta this month on the 8th, offering the choice of 4 servers based on different regions and languages. Now players can select between 2 different factions with 1 race each. However, character progression will be capped at level 41, and a good amount of new and updated content will be made accessible, including massive battleground events every evening, each day with different maps and objectives. Head over to the site posted at MMOHuts.com from the link in the description below for more details. More news from Webzen and C9 with a new teaser trailer for ERTA, a new advanced class for the Mystic. The ERTA is an aerial juggler who exceeds at dealing damage with quick, powerful melee attacks. She's also very mobile, able to deceive her enemies with lightning-fast dashes, and she's able to execute her powerful ranged and melee combos with a quick change of stance. Or she can use teleport and link to move instantly for a trick attack on her enemy. Not gonna lie, she kinda reminds me of Princess Katana from Mortal Kombat 9, which happens to be my favorite character. Also last week, the Ronin expansion and rework continued for Grand Chase. Now the renewal spread to the Aegis Knight and Abyss Knight, with new core items for both. And once you've collected your Abyss Knight gear, try them on for size against the creepiest looking enemies in the game in Nightmare Circus. As you can tell by the teaser, you're going up some pretty crazy looking stuff, including the Ringmaster himself. Good luck in that. But by far the coolest news this week is the closed beta announcement for ArcheAge and the fact that we have a boatload of keys for you guys. We've been waiting for this day to come forever, and it's finally happening this week on the 17th, and it runs all the way through the 21st, so super weekend beta time. And that time frame is for closed beta 1. For now, the closed beta events are set up on weekend time frames, and like WildStar was set up before its launch, you've got to get a new key for each closed beta weekend event. I guess that's sort of the only drawback. But I'm also pretty confident that we'll have keys for you guys for each of the events before open beta. But for now, we've got closed beta 1 keys going up at the MMOHuts giveaway section every evening this week around 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, so keep checking back with us. Otherwise, check the links in the description below for more details. Next up, we've got a new game announcement from Gearbox Software, the creators of Borderlands. This time, we're not looking at a new Borderlands or anything, we're looking at a new MOBA, of course, called BattleBorn. Set up 5v5 like your typical MOBA, the game's dramatic story assembles a universe worth of desperate heroes, from an immortal samurai to a minigun-wielding giant, all battling over the last star in the cosmos. Is it just me, or do each of these characters look really close to the characters in WildStar? Now, I love Borderlands as much as the next guy, but I hope Gearbox knows what they're getting themselves into here. For now, there isn't an official announcement for the game's business model, but based on the type of game, I'm sort of assuming that it's going to be free-to-play? but I guess we'll have to wait and see. The new IP is being published by 2K and will be available for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC sometime 2015. Blizard announced last week its release pricing for Hearthstone's upcoming expansion, Curse of Naxxramas. The game's first expansion is set to release over the course of 5 weeks in the form of wings, with one wing opening each week in a specific order. Players who start Naxxramas during the month-long launch event will get free access to the first wing, called the Arachnid Quarter, and after that each wing can be purchased individually for 700 gold or $6.99 per wing. Of course, bundles will be put together to purchase all of the wings as a whole as a way to save money. We've got several news pieces from the free-to-play Ubisoft game, starting off with some new changes to the mighty quest for epic loot. The latest update introduces a new Sandy Castle theme with a fairly different look to it, along with new pets and accessories, as well as skill balance changes for all of the characters. The most interesting new addition is the new barricades system. Now you can purchase bookshelves, barrels, crates, and other barriers to throw off your attacker, or to slow them down just enough to get pinned by your traps and/or monsters. In fact, you can even get monster cardboard cutout barricades for intimidation decoys. The barricades change up the tactics even more than before, making the castle's defenses look a lot more elaborate. Next up, Ghost Recon Phantoms has recently made some drastic changes based on its players' feedback. With the launch of Update 1.2, we see a list of weapon rebalancing and reactivity changes from basic running and reloading to ready time and device recharging time. As part of ongoing improvements taking place all this month, these changes still keep the tactical depth but deliver a new increased responsiveness to help make the gameplay feel faster. The big changes don't stop at just gameplay. Newcomers can progress 5 times faster with bigger level up rewards than ever before and take home competitive weapons within the first 5 hours of their gameplay. There are still plenty of changes coming to the game this month, so keep your eye out for the most recent updates at MMOHuts.com/news. A new invasion mode has been added to Star Conflict this past week. In this new invasion mode, the Empire mercenaries fight against the alien virus-ridden Blackwood Shipyard AI. So be ready to take down a fleet of ships that look all too familiar, corrupted by an unknown virus. Other than that, this update also brings with it the long-awaited spectator feature, interface improvements, and of course the usual bug fixes. Many of you guys have probably been watching the matches leading up to the 4th International Dota 2 Championship taking place July 18th through the 21st in Seattle. But just as last week, it has been announced that Viagame, the online esports channel by Swedish media company MTG, will be producing and broadcasting the world's biggest esports tournament, with prize pool upwards of $10 million in several different languages live from the championship. Viagame will be producing and broadcasting the International Dota 2 Championship exclusively in Czech, Swedish, Romanian, and Bulgarian. And finally, in Smite news, we see yet another assassin we don't want to have to deal with. Serket, the Egyptian goddess of venom. Passive has her basic attacks combine the damage of her lingering poison, which are applied through her other abilities, one of which is a dash that can crit or reduce the enemy's physical protection for a short period of time. The other is an attack that causes an enemy to attack their ally. Mind control stuff. It's never fun. Her ultimate, on the other hand, does its damage, then pushes the enemy away and continues to poison and do damage. Sounds wonderful. If the enemy dies, they explode, putting poison on nearby allies. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. But what's even cooler is the new Swagni skin for Agni.
My name is Swagni.
Now playing as a pimp is an actual option in the game. Even more recently, we've got the Elite Agent skin for Apollo, or as I like to refer to it as the James Blonde skin. I can say that people have been looking for this option for a long time now, and now it's finally here. Plus the Black Hawk is pretty badass. Well done. Anyway guys, that's about it for all the MMO news and announcements for this week. Remember to check the giveaway section daily for more ArcheAge closed beta keys. And like always, if you're looking for more information about the news featured in the recap, check the links in the description below or head over to MMOHuts.com/news for even more MMO news. Feel free to discuss the news in the comments below or head over to MMOHuts.com/forums. Until next time guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.